Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the Perth Blue Baggers pod. My name is Louis, your host.
And I'm Marty on special comments.
In this episode, we will be reviewing our round 17 clash against the Giants and previewing our round 18 clash against the Western Bulldogs. We had an outstanding first quarter where we kicked 8 first quarter goals. Unfortunately, we had no answers in the middle portion of the game where the Giants dominated. We made a late charge in the fourth quarter to make a comeback against all odds, but ultimately it was too little too late. Patrick Cripps, once again, led from the front with 33 disposals and 2 goals, while Harry Mackay recorded his second 5-goal haul of the season, kicking 5 straight. So let's get into the review. Let's start. We got this new segment called the Coach's Box. So I'll let you sort of describe what this will be about.
Yeah, the Coach's Box is about the game day tactics at selection and the game day tactics, and how well we thought we managed to go in terms of our tactical nous during the game as well. So with this particular one, as you've iterated, we started off really well. We led by as much as 39 points at one stage, so that's a good sign. But when they really stepped up in the second and third quarters, we couldn't really go with them. I think that was the disappointing part, was seeing us give up a lead so easily, conceding 7 goals in the second quarter and another 7 goals in the third. We've really prided our defence. So I think we had some problems with both our offence and defence. It might have started with at selection. So TDK came straight back in after resting against the Tigers. He was really good and competed well, but is probably beaten by Briggs on the night.
Yeah, he was.
And, Briggs tended to give GWS the first use of the ball, particularly in those 2 crucial quarters that we lost. Problems on offence and on defence. Voss always makes a big show of talking about what we do when we don't have the ball. Getting numbers back, defending space when we didn't have the ball was really crucial. We didn't do it as well this time that we've done previously, and that stops the run on. You need to get numbers back. So that was the first problem that we had. When we did get the ball, we had trouble linking up and really moving the ball quickly down through the field. But we just simply didn't get our hands enough on the ball. If you go and look at the actual possession count across the second and third, we just we weren't getting our hands on the footy.
Obliterated.
So I think that was really where our problem was. Look, in defence, we struggled a little bit. Kemp wasn't really able to handle Hogan. Hogan was a bit too good. Wiedering is normally fantastic, but he got a corky, and that really showed as well. So a couple of our key players, key defenders, were a little bit down. And like I said, I think our defence wasn't helped by not enough midfielders running back. So we did really fight out the game. I think that's really important. We kicked, I think it was 5 goals to 1. I think it was in the last quarter, something like that, and to get back into it. But we did leave our run a bit too late, which was disappointing.
Yeah. So there were some positives and negatives to come out of that game. You would also want to maybe mention we could have had 2 bigger bodies, so you could have had TDK and Pitto in the team to sort of. There was a bit of a discussion before the game whether that they could both hold or undermine Briggs's influence. Maybe.
Look, this is an interesting one because you can do that, and that might have helped, and that will be under discussion this time round. But you lose some of the run when that happens.
Yeah.
And the Dogs are a running team too, so you don't get run off your feet. I thought it was interesting. Cottrell came back into the team for his first game in some time. I'm a big fan of Cottrell. He didn't have a great game this time, but I think he'll be better for the run. He had just the 7 touches this time. I think if he gets some momentum going, you need to give guys 2 or 3 games at least to really get back to their best form.
Yeah. So we'll wait on him. Let's get into notable performances. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 votes.
Yeah, I think, look, no prizes for guessing who was our best. I think Cripps
Yeah.
was our best by a mile. He was the one guy fought it out in the second quarter. I think he had 8 touches in the second quarter when the tide was going against us and no one else was really standing up. 33 touches for the game. Look, he'll definitely be in the Brownlow votes again. I don't know if it wouldn't be 3 because we lost, but he could get 1 or 2. I don't know, but certainly he's our best player. Who was in the coaches' votes as well. Mackay, you've got to give him, I think, some votes. Mackay, I gave 4.
Yeah.
5 goals is a pretty damn good return. And I would say, though, that 3 of them came in the first quarter when we were really on top, and just the 2 after that. But, I mean, you can't really knock 5 goals. It's a very, really solid return. So that was good. Newman was pretty consistent across the game again, as he often is. He doesn't really have a bad game. So I gave him 3. He was probably our best defender on the day. Kennedy had 21 touches, Eagle team high, 6 tackles. Also kicked 2 pretty crucial goals in the fourth. Now, we didn't get over the line, but, you need people to step up like that and give us a sniff, which he did.
Yeah.
So I think 2 goals, 2 for him. Williams, I think the cupboard was a bit bare this time. I didn't think we had too many really standouts. It was the opposite of last week. Williams did kick 3 goals. All of them were in the first quarter. Wasn't as strong after that. But look, I've given him the 1 vote. I didn't think, I was looking around for an underrated. I couldn't really find someone that really stood out in that respect, so I'll keep that one vacant this time round. But look, I think if you look across how we performed across the season, it's still very strong.
Yeah. So for me, I would have probably had Wietering it with 1 vote at the end, or probably could have had him as underrated just because of his resilience after getting his corky. And he still made an impact.
He always fights it out, doesn't he? He's a gutsy player.
And that's all good. Let's get into the preview of round 18 versus the Western Bulldogs, which we will be going to, which is really exciting.
Very excited about this huge game. Shall we talk about the milestone?
Yeah.
Well, what a milestone. The 200th game for Captain Patrick Cripps. And what an awesome player he's been, what an awesome career he's had. And there's still more to come, I think. Carlton selected Cripps at number 13 in the 2013 draft. He's a WA boy, which is especially pleasing for us in the Perth Blue Baggers pod. In our view, he's the greatest player in Australia from our state. We're not biased at all. He's a country boy from Northampton, north of Geraldton, so a fair way north, but not super north. Great town, that one, with a lot of great players. And, of course, not being biased, we think he's the greatest of those great players. He was drafted from East Fremantle. A lot of great players have come out of that club. He was probably one of the few draftees from that immediate period who performed. It was probably not till the 2015 draft that we got more of those really talented young players coming through to take the club forward. He's had just an amazing career. He'll go down, even if he's retired now, he'd go down as one of our all-time greats.
Yeah.
He really deserves every accolade that comes his way. For many seasons, he literally carried the club on his back and pushed against the tide when we weren't that great a team. He played 180 games. I think that was 180 games before he played a final.
Wow.
So, the guy's had to work for everything he's got.
Yeah.
Success didn't come naturally. So he's had to push for it. And if we get more success, he'll deserve it. Just a really short list of some of his achievements. Brownlow medal, of course, in 2022.
Yep.
Probably his most famous one. All-Australian 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty amazing. Club best and fairest 4 times. The AFL Players Association's MVP in 2019. And, of course, for us, the Colton captain since 2022. But we hope the biggest accolade still to come. We'd love to see P. Cripps premiership captain.
Yeah.
I think that would be my preferred accolade. I'd rather see that more than a second Brownlow medal, but he's certainly in the hunt for a second Brownlow medal. You never know. He's been one of the best players this year. And I would say he's been particularly one of the best players in the AFL in the last sort of month or two.
Well, with Heaney out, with his suspension, it could still appeal it. But, yeah, it certainly opens the door for, at this point in time, him leading the Brownlow account.
Who knows? It's got plenty of footy still to come. I might just talk one memory. The greatest game I've seen him play. It's from 2019 round 12. Unfortunately, we were in a pretty low point at that time. We just sacked Brendan Bolton as coach. Every Colton supporter was feeling pretty down. We looked further than ever from a revival. We played Brisbane at Docklands. We conceded the first 6 goals of the match. It wasn't looking great. I think there would be a few supporters tempted to look away, but he just stepped up and willed us on to victory. He had 38 touches that day, 6 more than any other player in the field. He kicked 4 goals off his own boot, and we only kicked 11 that day, 4 of them himself, including 2 in the crucial last quarter when the game was in the balance. And I'd say his last one was probably the best, streaming out the middle. Look, he was untouchable. No one seemed to be able to stop him. If you haven't heard of his game that day against Brisbane in 2019, go and look it up.
Yeah.
It was just astonishing how much better he was than just about any other player in the field that day. But there are many, many memorable performances, including some this year.
Yeah.
So we're really excited to be there in person to celebrate the 200th match for Patrick Cripps.
Well, now we'll turn our attention to the next game against the Western Bulldogs, so a bit of opposition analysis.
Yeah, look, this should be a real ripper game, this one.
Yeah.
The Dogs are a pretty good team. It's a really even comp anyway. When they're flying, they can beat anyone.
Yeah.
And they've got Bontempelli, who himself is one of the best players in the competition. He'll be difficult to stop. The midfield battle will be crucial in my view.
Yeah.
I do think working hard in defence and getting numbers back when we don't have the ball is going to be important. Mm-hmm. Also, that linking up when we do have the ball to move the ball quickly and give our forwards every opportunity. Because I think if we can get Mackay and Curnow one out, I think we've got a really good chance.
Yeah.
So I'm picking the Blue Baggers, the Blues by 10 points.
Yeah, I'd say, I reckon we'll just sort of do the same thing where we sort of blast out in the fourth quarter to get over the top. We'll say maybe like 16 points.
Okay, 16 points. A bit more optimistic than me.
A bit more.
I don't expect this to be an easy win. I think that we'll have to work for our win this time.
It'll be neck and neck until probably, I feel, the fourth quarter.
We've had some good third and fourth quarters. I mean, obviously the third quarter wasn't so great last week, but overall they've been 2 strong quarters for us.
Yeah.
So let's hope that we step up. It's a little bit of a shock, a little bit of a wake up call last week. So we need to bounce back, and so this is a big match for us.
And the Bulldogs will be looking to bounce back after a 50-point loss themselves. So, and they're pushing for the 8. We're pushing to keep our top 2 spot. So it will be a very interesting game, and it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere to celebrate one of our greatest. So thank you for watching episode 9 of the Perth Blue Baggers pod. If you have any thoughts, please comment below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Instagram. Thank you. Up the Baggers.
Count on the Blues.